reviewing this weekend's combine, some of the top performers, and who the Dolphins might be looking at. What is up, football fans and Fin fans? You don't have to be a Dolphin fan for this video because me and Broshmo, yes, if you don't know who Broshmo is, go check him out. Fantastic guy. We're going to be breaking down the top performers from this weekend, kind of talk a little Dolphins in there. But again, you don't have to be a Dolphins fan because we're talking top performers from the weekend. So that's going to be super fun. But before we jump into that, if you scroll down, you'll see that there's some new merch. So I updated the t-shirts, and you also can see I made Sign That Man shirts for free agency. I told you guys I was going to do it. If you scroll down below, you will see it has Sign That Man shirts. And I also have a promo code going on for the next month and it's Early Bird. If you use the promo code Early Bird, you get 10% off if you want to grab yourself a t-shirt, a hoodie. The hoodies, I have hoodies, t-shirts, and mugs and stickers for DDW. And then Sign That Man, I just have t-shirts. So if you want to get a Sign That Man t-shirt, just scroll down. It's literally right under the title. You'll see the t-shirts. Go check it out. I try to make it as cheap as possible because if you guys don't know how Teespring works, you have to make a profit. So I think I'm making $1 off the shirts. I don't care about making a profit off the shirts. I want you guys to be able to afford them. So I made them as cheap as I possibly could through their site. I am going to be working on potentially doing my own and upgrading my merch and stuff like that. But if you want some, it is linked below. Other than that, enough with my rambling. Let's get to the video with Broshmo. And we talked about some really good draft prospects. So you know for a fact, if I'm talking about draft prospects, I got to get my guy Broshmo on here. Broshmo, what is up, my man?
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Just the combine. Nothing big.
Well, if for people who don't know who you are, which how do you not know who Broshmo is? You're a Dolphins fan.
I am. Fins up, baby, all the way.
What
Through
is
the
your
thick and the thin.
Oh, tell me about it. It's been thin, but it's starting a little thick. It's starting a little thick.
Oh yeah. No questions at quarterback. It's great.
Well, what's your thoughts? I'm gonna right into it. What's your thoughts on Tua? Do you like the trajectory he's going? Like, give me your thoughts on how he played last year and the future.
I liked it at the beginning of the year. The last half was, oh my gosh, dude. I think like the biggest thing was that Packers game.
Oh yeah.
3 picks. The last pick was like the worst of it. And it was like to a big anticipation thrower, right? Just misreading coverage, throwing into, I assume it was like an option route to like Waddle. He just misread through it to the outside into like 2 Packers, only guys in the vicinity. And I was just like, oh no, man. What happened to, what was it, week 3, Baltimore Ravens?
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. This is definitely going to be the season that I think the Dolphins will know if he is or isn't the guy. Well, it kind of has to be the season. Looking ahead if they want to move on or not. So
do you believe all the rumors out there that they're doing their due diligence, and is there a possibility, do you think that they'll replace him this year?
Not with where their draft picks are.
Right. I think that's what people forget. Like, we don't have a first round draft pick, so
it's 2 picks though, and then they get to pick, I think, in the 6th.
Yeah, oh my god, it's so bad. Hopefully we can get some, trade Cedric Wilson Jr. and pick up a 5th maybe if we're lucky.
Oh man, maybe. Yeah. Do we have any compensatory or
no, we didn't. I don't think anyone. I think next year we will, because Gesicki's probably gonna get a fat contract. I don't think I think we spent a lot. Yeah, we definitely spent. Toronto instead, and we spent too much that we gave away. Looking at the draft coming up, before we talk about what happened this weekend, what's your top needs? Like, who do you think they're going to target with those first 3 picks in the 2nd and 3rd round?
Well, with Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert, free agents. I mean, I know that like Mike McDaniel, he's kind of like the running back whisperer that, hey, I could get a journeyman. I could get
Mm,
late round picks, like a 6th rounder on Elijah Mitchell a couple of years ago. But I don't know. This is a really good class. I feel
yeah.
like they could go day 2 with one of those guys. Tackle, I think that right tackle
Oh yeah.
position is
Oh
pretty
yeah.
big. I know like Austin Jackson was kind of all right at the beginning of the year, but I mean, I'm not willing to bet on that.
No, no, not at all.
So yeah, I think tackle, like running back, obviously corner now.
Yeah. Oh my God. Do you think now? All right, let's get into this. Right now, the tight ends. Did you see any tight ends that really, just looking at it real quick? Darnell Washington, right? That man, he's a huge man. And then you have like
Big
Zach
boy.
Kuntz and you have Sam Laporta. Do you see any of those guys potentially going to Miami to replace Gizicki?
Man, that's interesting. Oh, now with McDaniel there, you would think maybe
Hmm.
potentially like this like even if they choose to wait till day 3, there's a couple of good guys out there like
Yeah.
well, no longer Kuntz. He's probably gonna be like freaking 4th, 3rd, maybe
Hmm.
even 2nd. Like the dude tested out phenomenally. So it would have to be a day 2. I don't know. I think Luke Musgrave might be the interesting guy there.
Okay.
Athletically, he was all right. Like not like I think what he was hyped up to be,
Yeah.
but like yeah, he's probably going to be in the area of like Washington. Tucker Craft is probably low key name people really haven't talked about because he was kind of banged up this year. He's kind of like a Dallas Goddard light,
Okay.
Kirkland brand.
Okay.
But I mean, this is a good tight end class. Like,
Hmm. It's deep. Like I'm from what I'm hearing, it's like tight ends, running backs, and corners. It's kind of deep this class.
yeah, yeah, even defensive line. But I mean, we've invested so much in that. I
Oh
mean,
yeah. Well, real quick, we got to talk about the defensive line in there 40 times though. Like, are you kidding me right now? Nolan Smith 4.39, Byron Young 4.43. Like,
it it was nutty. Like and it sucks because like it's it started the combine started with so much hype with the defensive line, and after that, it just felt like there weren't really any freak performances. Like guys were
yeah.
just kind of like checking boxes, like, okay, this guy
Hmm.
tested fast. I assumed he'd be fast. Like
Hmm.
there weren't any like crazy times. Like there were a couple in the corners, but like everyone knew the corner class was really good. It was that defensive like line was like freakish. Like Adi Tamiwa has been a big favorite of mine, the Northwestern kid.
Okay,
He,
that's how you say his name. I could not pronounce his name if my life
oh, I,
depended
I
on it.
still don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. But he's like like everyone hypes up Kalijah Cansey. I love Eddie Tamawa. I think he is what everyone wants Kalijah Cansey to be.
Mm.
He's gotten far better length. He tested out far better. Like everyone's talking about stinking Kalijah Cansey's like 40 time. Both these guys are viewed as like 3 techs in the
Mhm.
NFL, and stinking Eddie Bari had like a 4.49.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah. They're both the same size.
Yeah, for
Oh,
a 6'2", 282-pound man to move that fast. Holy crap. These and you think like, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, they're
right.
like, I'm fast. I'll be all right. Not
Not
anymore.
today's NFL.
These
These
guys are
guys can
ridiculous.
fly.
Yeah, coming off that edge too. Corner, right? We talked about corner. We need, Byron. I don't see. Real quick, do you see them trading for a corner? Like, do you think they'll go out and make a move for a corner, or do you think it's smarter to draft one of these very good guys that they've met with? They've met with, I think, 3 or 4 corners, and build through that way instead of going out and getting like a Jalen Ramsey from the rumors that we're hearing.
Man, that's gonna be expensive. Do we
Oh
even
yeah.
have like the draft picks to do that? I mean,
Unless they're all right with us giving up like 2 seconds because his
yeah,
contract's ridiculous.
yeah, but yeah, I don't know where we're at exactly cap space. I
Mhm.
think we're pretty snug as is. So it's like I imagine they go the draft route.
And is there anyone jumping off the page that you could see them taking with
Oh
that
man,
second round?
day 2 is filled with so many good guys. There's Forbes, who he came in real undersized, but he's always been a solid run defender. I
Mhm.
think he probably came in like 10 pounds lighter than he normally is. But the dude has extensive zone experience under Zach Arnett over at Mississippi State. So like coming in for Vic Fangio,
Oh, yeah.
he's gonna be like a must start, like easy breezy. Tyreek Stevenson, hometown boy there at the U.
Met with
Uh,
him? Yeah.
Golly, just ridiculous size at 6 foot. I think he was just a smidge under 200. He has slot experience. He has experience on the outside. He's very, very instinctive, a little bit high risk, high reward, but more times than not, like at the Senior Bowl, like it was paying off every time.
Yeah, he had a
So
good Senior Bowl.
yeah, a guy that might fall, Clark Phillips, DJ Turner now getting hype, but he comes from like Michigan. They're more press man.
Mm.
But like, man, Darius Rush, who might be available in the 3rd round. Like, there's a ton of guys. Ringo might fall because Keely Ringo's getting all this hate coming off kind of a down year.
Mm.
So, ton of
It's
guys.
it's gonna be so very interesting. We were talking about right tackles, looking at the tackle, looking at the offensive line group in general. How do you think they performed so far? Well, because today was O line in the
Yeah.
combine.
Yeah, they'll bench tomorrow, but again, like since the D line, everyone was just kind of checking boxes.
Mm.
When it came to like the tackles, like this is the thing. I just don't think the Dolphins are going to be in position to get one. The only one I could really imagine us being able to snag on day 2 is Matthew Bergeron, because it's kind of weird. Like the top 6, like you got Dwan Jones, Anton Harrison, Darnell Wright, and then of course like Broderick Jones, Skronsky, and Johnson. I think they're all going to be gone within like the top 40.
Okay.
So it's like we're going to be looking at like Matthew Bergeron, a guy that can play guard, and because at least got the frame too, and he
Mm.
can play tackle. Been playing tackle there for Syracuse. But like the only other day 2 guy that I would even want to consider is Wanya Morris, who unfortunately like pulled his hammy on the 40, but sounds
Oh,
like he's going to be there for his pro day. But he's another guy with like former 5-star, kind of had this weird little bell curve where like he started really good at Tennessee, kind of dipped, moved to Oklahoma, and then really just didn't get going until the end of this past season. But he's got a great build, great length. Um, Good athlete too. So like I think a guy that's probably his best football is ahead of him. Like those would be the 2 guys I'd be thinking. A lot of people like Jalen Duncan.
mm.
He against big competition. So like Michigan, Ohio State there in the Big Ten. He sucked. Like for as good as people like say as an like he is as an athlete, he
Mm.
is so lumbering in pass protection.
Mm.
Really good though in the run game, so I could see the Dolphins kind of not minding some of the pitfalls with his
Yeah,
pass pro early on.
because he's a big man, 6'6", 320. That makes sense that he would be good at the run blocking versus the speed he needs to do,
Yeah,
to get out there for the pass blocking. And that's the thing too about Chris Greer. A lot of people knock Chris Greer for his inability to really draft offensive linemen, but for some reason that man hits on second round picks. I don't know what it is about him with Javon Holland, with Robert Hunt. Like he
yeah.
hits on those second round picks, but it's like hit or miss with the other ones. Is there any is there a position that you can see the Dolphins potentially? Oh no, we got one more position I want to talk about. That's linebacker, because to me that's a big need. I really, when I'm looking at that second round pick, I'm looking at, for me it's corner, offensive lineman, and linebacker. I would really like. Is there any linebackers that are really, jumping off the page at you? Like, do you think like Trenton Simpson or Jack Campbell will be there for the Dolphins?
No,
Because
no,
their
they're
stock
probably top
shot
40
up
guys.
this weekend.
Yeah, even like Drew Sanders, who didn't perform, came in slightly less lanky than expected, but he's still going to probably be a top 40, top 50 guy. We're
Mm.
probably looking at guys like Dorian Williams. I love that dude out of Tulane. Ridiculous length, like 33-inch arms, I believe. One of the better coverage linebackers the past like couple of seasons there at Tulane. dude just gets after it, sideline to sideline athlete, and he's got that dog in him to like play
Mm.
the run game. A bit undersized though in today's NFL, it's not that undersized at 6'1", two, yeah, 228. So it's not terrible. I mean, imagine he's gonna build on that frame once he gets to the NFL, but that's really the one guy because this linebacker class is dog water,
Oh God.
unfortunately.
So do you think the Dolphins should go out and get like an Edmonds or somebody in free agency and then, not have to worry about it? Because like you said, they might not reach us at the 50s.
I wouldn't mind bringing back Roberts,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, like on a just a lower budget deal because like nowadays, today's NFL linebacker, it's still kind of like the linchpin that like holds the defense together, but it's a less valuable. If you could get by with these guys that are just not necessarily the best athletes, but they're like minimal gain in pass protection, like you might catch underneath them, but that is all the yards they're going to be getting. They're sure tacklers.
Mm-hmm.
They do their job and they do it well. Like, I feel like they could get by with that instead of swinging on some of the guys in this class at the very least.
Yeah, because I love Elena Roberts, especially in the run defense that we had. He
Yeah.
was a thumper. Like he was knocking people down. And then in 2021 with that interception against the Raiders, he baited the crap out of Derek Carr. Like he took it to the house. One last linebacker I do want to ask you about, just because of his last name, Noah Sewell. What's your thoughts on him? Like, some
Oh
people think he
man.
could be a fourth rounder. What's your thoughts on him?
Yeah, like it looks like he came in lighter, like slightly.
Mm,
But it looks like he's got a little bad weight on
okay.
him, like, and, like, his testing out wasn't, like, spectacular, like, I expected him to be, like, very explosive, maybe not necessarily the fastest guy, but when you look at, like, the 10-yard split, you see, like, "Oh, okay, he gets off, like,
Yeah.
really quick,"
Yeah.
but you didn't really see that, and, I feel like he's still a big, like, missed tackle guy, just in like, this year, the rate went down, but, also the opportunities. He wasn't nearly as aggressive. That's kind of his thing. He loves the hit stick, but the
Mm,
coverage prowess is also kind of pants with him.
oh,
So like, yeah, I feel like he's a big name because his brother.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, not nephew, but Penny. See, when you said name, I thought you were gonna say Anthony Orgy because I was like, oh yeah, that is a hell of a name out of Vandy. Yeah, there's like a couple of early day 3 guys that are pretty nice.
Mm,
That I mean, I guess you could just like try to snag there in the 3rd round, or maybe just trade down, grab more picks. That's always a great
that's true.
option. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
At least we
you're
don't have
really just swinging.
at least we don't have to wait as long as we did last year. Because
Oh man.
what's your thoughts on, I didn't, obviously we didn't get to chat about this last year, Tyndall, Izukoma. What's your thoughts on these two, and can they be productive with the Miami Dolphins?
Oh, I think Tyndall can because he's a really good athlete.
Mm,
He was another guy that could like fly sideline to sideline. Believe he had good length as well. We didn't see much of him this year though,
no,
did
he was
we?
more a special teamer.
Yeah, but I mean that's fine. Who was the other cat we drafted?
Eric Izukoma.
Oh, the Texas Tech. He was like an after the catch type
Yeah.
guy. You would think is like right up Mike McDaniel's alley, but it's just he's slow as pants. Like I didn't like it. I had him as like a late day 3 guy. So
Mm,
I wasn't too wild about that pick. Honestly, I think we did a good job. I don't know if he was in this draft or this past draft. Uh, Robert Jones was a guy I
yes.
really liked out of Middle Tennessee that came in for when Eichenberg got hurt. Who's
Yeah. He did
we're
really well. I was really happy with
yeah,
his
I
draft.
thought he definitely like because he was a guy that was total project, needed
Mhm.
development, but like had traits.
Yeah.
So like I'm kind of encouraged by our interior.
Oh yeah, and
So
I when Eichenberg came back and then they put him back in there, I was like, why are you messing with the offense? Like they were doing really well with Jones in there at left guard, and then they just threw that monkey wrench in there. Last question I'm going to ask you though, and it could pertain to the Dolphins. I doubt it does, but quarterbacks. We don't talk about
mm,
quarterbacks because you always got to talk about the quarterbacks.
oh yeah.
Um, Anthony Richardson, fast, 4.43. Look good with the deep ball. It looks too good with the shallow passes. I know Bryce Young didn't really perform, but that He's smaller than I thought he was. Like, what?
I mean, he came in at 204. I mean, I'm sure he was probably like soaking wet when they weighed him, but
what's your thoughts on the quarterback? Let me get your roundabout thoughts on the quarterbacks, and who do you think's the first quarterback that's getting taken?
Oh gosh, who do I think the first? If I have to predict, I still want to say Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young is the best quarterback in this class. He's the best pure, like in terms of like arm talent, take
Mhm.
size out of the equation. The dude processes the field quickly. He's got a good arm. I love his anticipation. He always keeps his eyes downfield, but he knows where he's kind of like, I don't want to say Mahomes-esque in the pocket, but like
Okay.
he's got really good awareness. And it's constantly looking downfield, could work inside, outside of structure. Like he's easily one of my favorites. CJ Stroud probably be the next guy. A lot of people kind of like, oh, he's kind of more of a high floor guy, low ceiling, though. It's like he's got an NFL arm. He's got prototypical NFL size. He's mobile. He just really chose not to really be. He really wants to throw the football. Like kind of gripes with him where whenever he was under pressure, had to work outside of structure. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, look at how he performed in the Georgia game." It's like, yeah, but he still has like 2 seasons full of tape. That's like,
That's true. Yeah.
whoa, yeah. But Levis and Richardson are kind of interesting. They both got bonkers tools. Obviously, Anthony Richardson, like the better tools, but
Yeah.
like if you're looking to, it really depends where your franchise is. With I think either of those guys, like one you got to sit, one you could start now. Like Levis, his past 2 OCs were former either coordinators or
Mm.
position coaches in the NFL. Like he's been working under a pro style offense. He knows pro style concepts and whatnot. Opposed to Richardson, 1 year starter, and for the most part, Billy Napier's offense down in Florida, it's not really a pro style approach. Though I will say, like, because man, I get this in my comments that like, oh, this is like Malik Willis all over again. And it's like, yo, like Malik Willis wish he had these tools, first of all, and like Malik Willis, like 70% of the time, this guy's outside of structure, which it's
Yeah.
like you can't really tell how that'll translate to the NFL. That's how we got to the whole Zach Wilson problem.
Oh yeah.
You know? Yeah. But Anthony Richardson, he truly tries to be a passer first.
Mm.
That's one thing I'll give him, like in terms of like the accuracy, like both Willis or Levis and Richardson, it's all over the place. But like one you could start now, like one understands how to go through reads in an NFL offense, how to go through progressions. So
And it's fun. So do you think Anthony Richardson is more like a Lamar Jackson who, he fell, Lamar fell, Ravens traded up, got him, but then he kind of sat. Joe Flacco started, he sat and kind of learned a little bit. Then Lamar went in. Like, can you see that being like Anthony Richardson's kind of MO? Like draft him maybe in the first, middle to late first, and then let him sit, learn a little, and then, potentially throw him out there.
yeah, I think he's gonna go top 10. Like
Okay.
after Lamar, like and guys like Josh Allen, like people are gonna
Yeah,
bet on tools like that.
that's
Hey,
true.
we'll sit it for a year. If we got a bridge guy, cool, that's great. Like honestly, like teams like I think the Seahawks and the Lions are really gonna have
Yeah,
to think hard
yeah.
about like passing up on him. It's like just because what he can, like even his floor is ridiculously high. I mean, we've seen it with Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's so hard to like game plan around, even if sometimes he's just not cutting it as a passer. It's just him as a playmaker. It's just so tough to deal with. But
Yeah, it's a new NFL because if you really look at it, like Jalen Hurts, you said Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, there's these guys that coming into the league, they had the in intangibles with their legs and stuff, but their passing was meh. But then all of a sudden, you can work on that while they're still making time with their legs. So yeah, that's a very good point. Especially like the teams you named. Like if Geno goes back with Seattle, and then they have Goff and Detroit, and then they bring. See, and that's why I brought you on. You're making me think. Very, very good. Very good.
What I do. That's what I do. That's because that's like what I'm constantly doing. Just
Yeah, just you got the man. If you guys haven't subscribed, go check out Bro Schmo. Go subscribe, follow him on Twitter. He does some fantastic stuff. You play Madden over there, or is it more just draft stuff?
I don't. I quit Madden years ago. Like I was a franchise guy.
Good
That's
for
why.
you.
I mean, I loved franchise mode, and
They killed it.
They killed it. They killed it. I
They
think the
killed
last
it.
Madden I played was with Mahomes on it.
Oh God, that was
Yeah,
probably
and
like
it just
3,
too
4
many
years ago.
bugs, man. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it anymore. I was excited for NCAA. They pushed that sucker back another year, though.
EA doesn't know what they're doing. It's just a bunch of
I know. I'm really scared to see what NCAA is
I
going to be
know,
like.
right? I loved NCAA, especially like when you had to take the tests and stuff and like all that, like the cool. It was so cool. And then you could transfer that over to
Oh, like,
Madden.
yeah,
It was so
exactly.
cool. They're gonna ruin it. They're 100% gonna ruin it. But yeah, if you guys don't know, Brochmo is gonna be helping me out during the draft prospect in May, not May, because the draft's in April. I'm an idiot. In a few weeks after free agency, me and Brochma are going to be breaking down the prospects. It's going to be fun. I'm glad to have you a part of this little series. Like I said, go subscribe to him for the love of God, and I'll see you soon. I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah.